Casteism, reduced to a mere feeling, a slight flaw, intermingled with judgments of one's character, of whether they are inherently good or not. It became synonymous with overt, declared hatred towards a person or group based solely on the race assigned. Few will openly admit to this perspective. People readily denounce sexism, xenophobia, and homophobia, but racism, that's a different story. They deflect accusations claiming they don't have a racist bone in their body, that they're the least racist person you'll ever meet. They insist they don't see color, that their best friend is black. They've convinced themselves on a conscious level of these beliefs. But what does racism mean in an era where even extremists won't own up to it? What's the litmus test for racism? Who's deemed racist in a society where a father and a son can shoot a black man while jogging? Wow. Shoot a 12-year-old upon arrival because he's not allowed to play cops and robbers? Shoot a mother who calls for help in a domestic in front of our child and not be held accountable? It's just a honest mistake? Where you can separate brown children from their parents at the border and hold them in cages, or proudly be part of an insurrection on our government and yet not be labeled racist. Unless they confess, or even if they're caught using derogatory language or symbols, they remain unscathed. Our obsession with uncovering individual racists or sexist feels like a lost cause. We deceive ourselves into thinking that we are eradicating injustice by forcing admissions that are unlikely to come. This focus on individuals swings attention away from the system that birthed them, giving cover to those who, by pointing fingers at others, portray themselves as noble and bias-free. This cycle perpetuates hierarchy. Oddly enough, the instinctual rejection of current discrimination based on a mere chemical compound in the skin is an unconscious acknowledgement of the absurdity of race as a concept. Caste. Caste, on the other hand, predates the notion of race. It has survived the era of formal state-sponsored racism that still festers in mainstream society. Modern-day racism, easily denied, may veil the invisible construct that upholds hierarchy and inequality, but caste doesn't allow us to overlook structure. Caste is structure. Yeah. It's the ranking, the boundaries, the fixed assignment based on appearance. It's a living, breathing entity, akin to a corporation seeking self-preservation at all costs. Seeking true freedom demands a closer look beyond surface perception. We can't defeat a hologram. Caste determines who receives respect, status, honor, attention, privilege, resources, the benefit of doubt, and human kindness based on their perceived rank in the hierarchy. It pushes back against an African-American woman confidently taking a seat at the head of the table, speaking Russian without humor or apology. It dictates that an Asian American man can offer his technological expertise to a corporation, but shouldn't aspire to be its CEO. Yet it finds it logical for a 16-year-old white teenager to manage a store over employees 3 times his age from a subordinate caste. Caste is insidious and therefore potent because it's not fueled by hatred. And it's not necessarily personal. It's the deeply ingrained routines, the unthinking expectations, the pattern of a social order so deeply entrenched that appear to be the natural order of things. The difference between racism and casteism. In America, where caste and race are entwined, it's hard to separate the two. Any action or institution that harms, assumes, or attaches inferiority or stereotypes based on the social construct of race can be considered racism. Any action or structure that keeps or seeks to limit, hold back, or wrong someone, keeping them in their place by elevating or denigrating them based on their perceived category, can be seen as casteism. Casteism is the investment in maintaining the hierarchy, preserving your own ranking, advantage, and privilege, and elevating yourself above others. Now that we know the rules, we can all play the game. UBUNTU.